another session of Get to Know Our Scientist here at the Hollywood division of Simulations Plus. I'm joined today by Priyata. Priyata, what's your last name?
My last name is Priyata. Kalra. Kalra is my last name.
And does that name tell us where you're from in India?
Yeah, this is a common misconception, I think. But no, you really don't. You just maybe get to know probably a little bit about the background of the region.
The language, maybe?
Yeah, language, yeah.
And what language?
It's my mother tongue is Punjabi, which I'm very bad at. I don't speak it so well. So.
Well, you speak English very well,
Yeah.
so that's good. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, it's one of the official languages back home. So.
Right. And where did you grow up?
I grew up in India. I grew up in all over India. So we moved a lot throughout India when I was living there. And I started, my hometown is very in the Himalayas. So,
Really? Wow.
yeah, it's very beautiful.
Disputed section or not so
No,
much?
not disputed at all.
Oh.
Quite beautiful.
That's great. And how often do you go home?
As much as possible. And that's actually a kind of an advantage to work with SAP, right?
So I guess that's one of the questions. Why did you come to Simulations Plus?
Yeah, so one of the part of the answer is the flexibility and also the international coverage of clients that we have, especially some of the opportunities back home in India to also learn to kind of address them and to also see the market landscape back home. The second thing is obviously the very, very talented scientists as well as the overall talented team here. There are lots of people from whom I learn every day when I'm working with them. And that really gives me a lot of vigor and motivation.
And what's your primary interest, or what do you do here?
Okay, so I am actually working as a senior scientist in the team of simulation technology, which is headed by Heinrich. And my primary job is to write models, especially innovative models, to leverage the end user to be able to use it in their daily drug development pipeline. So with respect to GastroPlus and with respect to Membrane Plus.
So GastroPlus and Membrane Plus.
Yeah. So.
I think many of our viewers are very familiar with GastroPlus, but may not be as familiar with Membrane Plus. Can you tell me a little bit about what you like about that particular platform?
Yes, Membrane Plus is actually, for me at least, because I worked a lot with in vitro experiments in the past. I come from a background of systems biology where there's a huge emphasis on in vitro experiments. Membrane Plus is very good for leveraging in vitro experiments to be able to understand a drug distribution profile within an in vitro experiment and to have an idea on how you would like to scale it for in vivo purposes for your work. So therefore, it's very powerful with regards to finding maybe fraction and bound of a compound in vitro setting and how to scale it in an in vivo setting. Plus, it has many different regular in vitro experiments that you can actually simulate. So, for example, right now, coming to alternative methods in pharmaceutical as well as in chemical industry, you can also simulate the in vitro method itself. So maybe at one point you can have certain idea whether you would like to go ahead to have an in vitro measurement, or would it be all right to have only certain time points and not more than that with this kind of a simulation.
So I think we've seen pretty reasonable adoption of the platforms in the pharmaceutical space, but you mentioned chemical as well. Are there opportunities for that area to be able to adopt modeling and simulation?
I think chemical industry is at the moment moving more and more towards this because there's a huge emphasis on non-animal methods. There's a huge
non-animal, right.
There's a huge emphasis on alternative testing methods. So there's a huge emphasis on also being innovative with different kind of in vitro experiments that can somehow inform in vivo situations. So it's a very powerful tool with regards to the chemical industry to leverage.
Also cosmetic, I would think as well.
Yes, exactly.
You know, great.
So anything that covers food, cosmetics, even like shampoos, fertilizers, etc., everything in that direction.
You've had an opportunity to interface with a variety of GastroPlus users and maybe Membrane Plus users as well. What suggestions might you have for them?
So one of the biggest suggestions I have is good housekeeping and record keeping of your GastroPlus or Membrane Plus files. So always keep in mind that GastroPlus or Membrane Plus is kind of like a database platform. So it comes with its own support files, it comes with its own auxiliary files, and most of the times people tend to forget to put everything in one folder. And also they tend to forget to use this comment section below in both the software. So please use that to
annotate.
To write information about each model that you do, such that the history is preserved and the next user, because we are working in a very collaborative environment. Each modeler is sharing their files with another modeler, so it's very easy for the other modeler to get lost without having good annotation. So please do good housekeeping.
We recently conducted our second annual MIDD conference, and with very good success and participation. Excuse me. Any comments about what you observed there?
It was, for me, that was actually the first time I participated in such a conference from SLP, and at that time I was also very new. So what I found very fun in that was just the way the organizing committee comes together, also just to organize it, because I was part of this Women in Science forum. It was really great to come together and to talk about topics which are, pressing in science with regards to gender equality or inclusion or diversity, etc. But overall also, it's a very great place where I could see diversity in general of scientists also coming and not only contributing in the talks, but also asking the questions. And we had some really great questions come up. Plus the coverage was of the talks or the sessions is really great. We have things going from drug discovery pipeline, starting from the discovery pipeline to development and going to the FDA. So you cover all kinds of talks there.
Well, one of the things that you trigger in my mind is what's been your experience here as a woman in science? Do you find that there is a wealth of interest here, or camaraderie among the other women scientists here?
Here as a university?
Yeah.
I love it. I must say, it is one of the companies where I can very proudly say that we're very inclusive with regards to having the balance of different genders in this direction. I see so many women here, and so it's so nice that even the men are very, very inclusive, and it's very rare to find this combination where you have this openness coming from both ends. And that's what I also love partly about working here, that you can have subtle jokes, you can have a very open and honest conversation in the same room without making the the critics go in the direction of feeling blamed or being, pointed out as guilty, but more as empowering each other to.
A little bit like a family.
Yes.